Hey everyone, so another mailbox haul video. We have stuff from Nudestix, L'Oreal, Makeup Forever, Pure Cosmetics, as well as obviously some gifts from Andrew. So we'll start off with L'Oreal. I got sent these Lumi cushions, and it came in like this really cute box with this really cute ribbon. Like, how adorable is that? So here's what it looks like, and I pulled out this shade because this is the shade that I am using. So I had originally already picked up this foundation before I had received this package. You guys have probably, like, if you read the descriptions or if you follow me on Instagram, like, I've been using this foundation pretty frequently. And I used this when I was in LA on days when we weren't, like, you know, taking pictures and stuff, and before that. I just think it's a really easy everyday foundation. You've seen tons of reviews on this. I don't really need to get too into it, but it's a cushion foundation. It's actually really cute packaging too, and I like that it's like rose gold and lightweight, and you have a puff. I use a beauty blender, but that's just my personal thing because I like things to be really lightweight. Any kind of foundation I use, I want to use the smallest amount possible. So it's just what I prefer because I don't need a lot of coverage. And then again, you have a very concentrated, pigmented, and it's very, what's the word? It is completely drenched in foundation in there. So this is in the shade W3, and I had picked this up. Actually, I have a first impressions maybe in like a vlog that I can probably list down below. So the first time I picked up this foundation, I got W3 because I think I always go for warm tones because I am warm. So where you see kind of the shiny, that's the shade W3, and that's the shade I was wearing, and you can see how glowy this foundation is. When they sent this packaging, there's 3 you saw in there. So this is the lightest one they had in there, and they were all N shades, and I'm like, I never go for neutral. So I was like, let me just try it. I mean, it's probably not gonna work. So this is shade N3.5. So we have W3 here, and then above it, you can see N3.5. It's much more yellow. I don't know how their shades work, but N3.5 is a much better match for my skin. So when I wear N3.5, it's like a perfect match, and I'm an NC25. So if you have tried the foundations and you thought, oh, I'm warm, so you went towards the W something something, because when I wore the W, I was like, oh, okay, it looks fine. You know, I thought it was like a great match. It looked slightly light, but then when I did the N3.5, it was like perfect. Like, I could see there's like nothing. It just looked like my exact skin tone. So not too much to say there, except for anything I've said before. It's a great foundation. I use a beauty blender. It goes on beautifully. It looks like skin. I think for the drugstore it is a little pricey, but I wonder if it's because of the packaging. I'm not really sure why a lot of the cushions are coming out at a higher price point. Maybe it's a fad thing. Maybe they're like, oh, it's trendy. Maybe we can charge more. I'm not really sure, but this one is amazing. I haven't tried any of the other ones from the drugstore or in general that have come out into like the Western market. Obviously, I've tried a lot of cushions from, you know, Asian brands, but I would say for me, I love just buy an empty cushion, compact, and an empty cushion, and just put whatever foundation you want in there. Just, I think it just works out perfectly. Next up is Nudestix. Obviously, matte lips, you know, all the rage. Nudestix has come out with lip and cheek pencils, intense matte lip and cheek pencils. I enjoy these. I'm not someone that loves a super matte situation on the lips. I'm trying them out. I'm definitely testing a lot of liquid lipsticks out, but I love the formula of these. I have tried a lot of stuff from Nudestix actually. I've tried their concealers and their contour pencils, and I haven't tried their eye crayons yet, so I'm interested in those. But these lip products are like what they were really focusing on at Generation Beauty when they were in LA. And I don't know if you guys watch Monsieur Alex here on YouTube, and he's the same name on Instagram, but we have known each other like through social media since I can't remember, it's been years, and I feel like we found each other's channels around the same time. He's super cute and very fashionable, so you guys should definitely follow him. Anyway, he was working the Nudestix booth, and while I was there, I picked out the shade in Belle, and I thought it was super pretty. Purity is another color that was super popular there because it's a very Kylie Jenner lip, so if you need reference for that. So I've swatched them here for you. This one is in the shade Belle, and it is a really beautiful warm pink on me because I'm just not someone that loves cool tones on the lips necessarily, which is ridiculous because I have this lip color on right now. But This is in the shade Entice, and this is probably my favorite color out of all of them. I wore this in an Instagram post. I'll link it below. I love it. The formula goes on super, super creamy, and it doesn't feel super dry. Like, you can keep wearing it throughout the day, and it reapplies really well. This is the shade Kiss, and this is, again, really pretty. I wouldn't wear this on my own. I wouldn't wear this on its own because it's not a color I would find super flattering on me, but mixed with these shades, it will look stunning. Like, these two mixed together would be really pretty, or even these two mixed together. This one is in the shade Tamed, and this is like a really, really standard pinky nude. This, all over the lips, can look a little chalky on my skin tone, but I love the kind of mixing it in to the center of my lips, not even with just these, but with like even other pencils. Like, for example, the shade I have on right now, if I were to like drop this into the center of the lips, it would look so pretty and it would give so much dimension. So this next one is called Royal. I know you've been paying attention to this the whole time when I was showing the other swatches. Isn't that red so beautiful? Like, this is your classic blue-based red, and it is stunning on the lips. I wore this one day just to like see, and it was so amazing. But like, the rest of the makeup wasn't really on point, so I didn't take a picture. It's not on Instagram, etc., etc. You know how it is. And then lastly, he sent this blur pencil. Oh yeah, that's the whole point of talking about Alex, is that he had sent me this. That's the connection there. So this is the blur pencil. So they suggest using this as a primer for your lips, and this is awesome. Like, use it as a primer anywhere, on the face, on the lips, also other lip colors. It's really great. Make sure, I mean, like, if you're gonna apply any matte lip, always exfoliate, prep your lips. There's no point in putting on a matte lipstick if you're not going to prepare your lips for it, because your lips won't be able to handle it. And he sent it in this really cute container. Oh my god, it has my name on it. I didn't even know he wrote Jen. Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. And they always come in containers, and they always have anything you buy from them that is a pencil will always come with a sharpener. I just don't have the sharpener with me right now. I have one on my vanity, because whenever you buy one of these, you get pencils. Or not pencils, you get pencil sharpener. I think I have another one. I have bought one of the Sephora lip kits, and I think it comes in the shade Whisper. So I am going to have so many of these. I'm so excited. Anyway, I wanted to share these with you. If you want to try matte lips, but you don't want like a liquid lipstick, you want something that's a way easier to apply, definitely check out the Nudestix ones. We have here the Hydra Fluid from Pure Cosmetics. I have been really, really into Pure Cosmetics. I'd have to do a video. There's just so many videos to do. I just never know which videos to do. I had picked up some of their eye polishes, and those are amazing. Oh my god, they last forever on your eyes. They look gorgeous. If you want to see really good swatches, I go to their Instagram. Also, I picked up a lot of their like eyeshadow palettes, their matte palettes, their face palettes. They're just so good. You guys have to check out Pure Cosmetics, because maybe before you're like, oh, it's just like a mineral makeup brand, you know, everyone's doing mineral makeup, but they have come out with so many new products, and they're not getting the love they deserve. Like, it's so much good stuff. And brushes, they've come out with brushes. I was looking at the shape of them, and I'm like, those are stunning. So this is the Hydro Fluid. Again, really great for winter times. I love the packaging. I love things that are in squeezy tubes. Also, they're like, I don't know what you call this. The squeezy part of the squeezy tube is like a clear plastic, so you can see your product coming out, which I like. The one big problem for me with this is that it has the shade names on the box, but it doesn't have the shade name on this. So when I'm using them, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because you would just find your shade, but because I was sent all the shades, I was like trying to figure out which shades, and once I removed them from the box, I was like, I don't know what shade I am. However, the interesting thing about these is I know there's probably like maybe what, 6 or 7 shades, or maybe 6 shades, 5 or 6 shades, and you're like, okay, that's not enough to cover the spectrum of skin tones. But I can wear both light and medium, and neither of them look like they don't match me. So I feel like there's something in here that like makes them very kind of, I don't want to say that they like adjust to your color, but there is something about them, or the way the formula is, that it just blends in. These are very moisturizing. I think if you're someone that's been prepping with like a moisturizing primer, because I do, definitely. I use the Makeup Forever Nourishing Primer pretty much every day since I got it. And this stuff doesn't really require that. You can easily go in with it without having to use like a moisturizing primer. You can use like a regular primer, a regular moisturizer, and go in with them. It looks really beautiful on the skin. I would say you get no more than medium coverage out of this, and then when you build it, I still don't think that you're gonna get to full coverage. But these are like, they're easy foundations. It's a really beautiful formula. And again, being, you know, a hydra fluid water serum foundation, it is a glowy foundation. I've applied these with a beauty blender, but if you use a brush, you definitely do get more coverage. Next up is Makeup Forever. They had sent over a couple packages. One of them had this kabuki brush. Do you see this? Like, do you see how this moves? It's like water. I have slowly been collecting a lot of Makeup Forever brushes. Some of them I purchased, some of them were gifted to me, but this is the 124, and this is like heavenly. Like when you're applying, like for powder foundation, which I don't do that often, I've done it once just to test it out, and it looked beautiful. But then for bronzer, like if you are kind of sick of contouring and you just want to go back to basics, this as like a bronzer buffing brush all over your face, it looks stunning. You can that scare you? I feel like I look a little scary there. Powder bronzer, liquid bronzer, gorgeous. The Makeup Forever Profusion, is it Profusion? Those bronzers work amazing with this. If you have something like the Chanel a Bronze Universal, oh my god, just oh my god. They sent over the base, oh, what is this? They sent over the hydrating primer. They had already sent this previous, but this is a good primer. It's just, for me, this is one of their more silicone-y type primers. I personally am obsessed with the one that keeps you matte and the one that, oh, my lighting just changed, and the Nourishing. The Nourishing is my holy grail for moisture right now. Like, it's just, I've been using it every single day. It is always typically my primer. And it's not always my only primer. I definitely always start with it, but then I'll go in maybe with something that's more pore filling, something like this. The Mist and Fix, guys. This is an OG. Like, this is around. Remember when, like, back in the day, like, all we talked about was like Urban Decay, Makeup Forever, and MAC. Like, that's just all we ever talked about, like, on YouTube. I mean, maybe I didn't as much, but it was definitely prevalent. And this is one of the best ones. It's one of the first ones, but it's one of the best ones. Like, this is actually something that fixes your makeup. It sets your makeup. And if you've watched my video, what was it? It was the Scandinavia sprays. And I like went off on a little tangent. I don't like when people use the words finishing spray and setting spray interchangeably, because they are not the same thing. A finishing spray kind of just makes your makeup look less cakey, or it takes away the powder. A setting spray will do that and set your makeup. I feel like it's really, really important to make that distinction, because it's just not there sometimes. So this sets your makeup. I love this. And it doesn't, you know how like MAC Fix Plus, which again is not really, it doesn't really like fix your makeup. It just kind of takes away the powder. That always leaves me looking glowier than what I expect. Whereas this just sets your makeup. There's no glow to it. So I love this. This is the HD powder. Oh, this is so OG. I love this. I haven't used this in a really long time, obviously, because so many other brands have come out with stuff. But before, you know, everyone was coming out with everything, I used this religiously. And I use it to set everything because it's super fine. It's colorless, like you can't see it. And this one I also find not only does it set your makeup, but it keeps it in place as well. Like, you know, yeah, it locks it in place and makes it look good, but I just find like it wears really well it wears well throughout the day. Lastly, from that box, we have the Artist Shadows. Now, I feel like, I don't know if I'm gonna use this or not, because a lot of these shades are already replicated in other palettes that I have. So I might give this away to like one of my friends or something, but I am obsessed with the Makeup Forever eyeshadow formula. They reformulated it maybe a couple years ago, and I love it. The first time I was like playing with it, I was like, oh, whatever. But then I started using them on my eyes. They had sent over like the Holiday Artist Palette. I have purchased like I think the neutrals during the VIB sale. They're so good. Oh, and I found like a really good deal of like the 50 Shades of Grey one at TJ Maxx. So these shadows, like the formula, it almost feels like a pressed pigment. Like, that's how beautiful I think they are. This is kind of old news, but since these concealers aren't super new anymore, however, I wanted to mention them because color correcting. People are obsessed with it right now. So they came out with a range. There is the R range and the Y range. The R range is to correct, as you can tell by these two colors. This one is like a light peach, and this one is like almost peachy orange. And then this is in the shade Y31, and this is the shade I use under my eyes. As the concealer on the face, I don't particularly enjoy it on the face because I don't think it gives enough coverage. Because whenever I'm using concealers on the face, I want them to be really pigmented. I want them to really cover, and I don't want to have to layer and try. But these under the eyes are beautiful, and they're meant to be used under the eyes, which makes a lot of sense. I would say on their own, the Y range, which is the concealers, they don't give me all the coverage I want. However, when you use them together, that's when the magic happens, because anytime you correct first and then conceal, it will always look better, I think. Unless you're not trying to hide a lot. But for those who actually have dark circles, and it's difficult because I feel like based on your skin tone, sometimes, yeah, they're overall dark circles, but sometimes my tones can be a little red underneath, sometimes they're a little bluer, sometimes they're a little greener, sometimes it's like sallow and a little yellow. So I think it depends on like maybe what products I'm using at night, or if I'm drinking enough water, or if I'm not getting enough sleep. I feel like I get different tones under my eyes based on why they're dark. You know what I'm saying? So I love the combination of these. When I need a lot of help, I use R40 and Y31 because it's much more orange. But when I don't need that much and I just want a brighter look, I use Y31, which is this one, and R30, which is this one, which is peachier. So but the orangey one, like the darkest one in R40, I love using on the face too. You can definitely use this to color correct your face, which is great. I wonder if they'll come out with like, you know, like a green and a purple and a yellow and stuff, because the formula is great. You don't feel it. You barely see it. You only see it because you know it's there. You know what I'm saying? So highly recommend. A mailbox haul would not be complete without some gifts from Andrew. And I would say this whole thing is cumulative since from like maybe January-ish, something like that. Maybe even earlier, I'm not sure. Do we see this beauty here? I've left this on because I'm like I want to preserve the prettiness of it. This is the Nars L'amour toujours l'amour. Okay, that's a lot of... Anyway, it's a Narcissus palette from Nars. Isn't that stunning? Now, when Temptalia reviewed this, she said it was very similar to the Makeup Forever shadows, and I would totally agree. The pigment on them, the way they feel, especially like the metallics and the shimmers, feels so similar to the Makeup Forever. Like they feel like pressed pigments, and they're gorgeous. Even the mattes here are so creamy. Do we see this? So there's a creamy matte, and I love using this in the crease, not in the crease, in the brow bone. I feel like this is the first time we've seen a formula like this from Nars, and I hope they continue doing this. And they keep coming out with more interesting stuff. Like when the dual intensity eyeshadows came out, loved those. I know not everyone likes that kind of like gelée thing, but you tell me something gelée, I will buy it, eat it, wear it, whatever you want to call it. I will do all kinds of things. But this is like a very, like again, like it has a lot more of like a silicone-y feel to it. So I think the trick to these is, because I feel like a lot of people don't like them because they feel like they don't layer well, but they're also so pigmented that like I don't know how much you really need to layer, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a big fan of this. This just popped up in my mailbox in January, and I was like, I didn't order anything from Nars. So I text Andrew, I'm like, I didn't order anything from Nars. So I knew it was from him. Next up, when we were in LA, he had given me this little ColourPop shadow. It's in the shade Telepathy. I think this came out with like the Kathleen Lights collection. How gorgeous is that? Yeah, it's pretty gorgeous. Oh my gosh, this color. This is something I would do a smoky eye with. I would just wear this all over the lid and then, you know, really get some black on the edges and the corners, and then a really good transition shade. This is definitely something we're saving for the summer. We're not doing it right now. And lastly, this is like... So Andrew sent this Rouge Volupté Shine. This is their Tint in Oil Volupté Shines, and it is gorgeous. I think this is the... I can't pronounce the word. It's nude... nude something. I couldn't pronounce the word, so when I got it and I sent like a picture to Andrew, I'm like, I think it's like Nude Vigilante chivalry something. I don't remember what it was. So he literally texted me. He's like, he gave me like 5 options. He's like, which of these products do you want for your birthday? And I already had a couple of them, and 2 of them I didn't want, but I'm like, I didn't even know these came out yet. I'd seen them on Instagram, but I hadn't tried them yet, or I hadn't seen them in stores. Of course I hadn't tried them. Look at this. You're like, Jen doesn't wear pink, but this looks stunning. The formula, like you thought like the lip tinting oils were great, or you thought the Rouge Philippe Shines were great. No, this is amazing. Why is my hair so frizzy? Okay, I'm obsessed. There's probably like 6 other colors I want to try. The formula on this is amazing. I hope you enjoyed the video. Until the next mailbox haul, take care, and I will talk to you guys really soon.